And hello, I am back. Um, it's me, Anime We or We Anime. And before we start this, disclaimer like usual, I stutter my words, right? And I do impressions. They're terrible, okay? They're absolutely terrible. So, yeah. And if you hear me like get out of breath, I'm currently on a hike and not currently at my normal spot. So, yeah, and I thought, hey, I don't like pre-recording these. I record them on the day, right? And the trail I'm on is very thorny, so if you hear any clicks, that is me trying to take down the thorns. Okay, that's all the disclaimers I have. So now we can start the fourth part of what if Deku had the eight gates. And I'm gonna put something out here before we start again. Um, do you want me to put titles on parts like uh titles, like back from the past or something, or here comes like somebody? Do you want me to do that? If so, um, put it down below. I'm thankful that some of you actually watch my videos, the ones that do, and the ones that are subscribed. I thank you. Thank you. Um, so yeah. Um, I don't know when I stated the where if we get 50 subscribers by the end of the year, I do a special, which either way I was gonna do a special, but yet I want to tell you all. So yeah, that's all the things I had to say before we started the story. And let's start. So we first cut in to the story when Midoriya gets up to a house, as we know as Gran Torino's uh house, right? And we Midoriya knocks and yells or says, uh, I'm from UA about the not provisional, the internships. Sorry if this is loud. Surprisingly quiet. Uh, and he would say, well, I'm here for the internships. And he hears nothing on the ground. And he he walks in, or he says he's going to walk in, will come in, and he opens the door and sees Gran Torino, or who he thinks is Gran Torino, on the ground, covered, surrounded by blood, and there's a blade. And Midoriya thinks, "Oh crap, he's dead." So he starts looking around the place, checking Gran Torino's um, body for any wounds to see what wounds there are, and he sees none, and he thinks, "Oh, this might be a test of what I would do in the sense of finding a body." So he keeps quiet about this. He said that in his head, and he keeps on thinking. He looks around, sees no real entrance holes um in the in the in the what the house of Gran Torino, and he starts he would go back to the body, and say, I know you're alive. Just get up. I know this was a test. Well, I think this was a test. Grand Tuna would say, no, I'm dead. And Midoriya would let out a sigh and he would start walking around, the house. He would lay his bag down in his suitcase with his hero suit in there, and he would sit down on a couch, and he would be waiting for Gran Trudeau to come in and say uh something. But yeah, he never hears anything, so he stands up and he gets kicked in the face by Gran Torino, and and while he is flying into a wall, he crashes into it. He would turn around, or he would turn back to Gran Torino and see a blur like going across the building, and and Midoriya thinks that this is going to be tough, a tough week, and they keep on walking, or they keep on fighting. Midoriya gets up to his fourth gate, trying to catch up in speed with Gran Torino, and he's fast as Gran Torino, so he's able to dodge a lot of the kicks now, and he thinks this is some sort of training. I'm guessing. Uh, what am I supposed to do? And he starts watching the blur bounce around the building, right? And as he would see the uh, the blur, he starts copying the movements, like bouncing off the wall, and he would finally, well, watch the pattern of Gran Torino, and he would finally catch him and kick him. Well, not as powerful or as strong as a kick as like he would use on a villain or anything. It's not full power kick. He he it's like he kicks them. I mean, but not with his full strength of the fourth gate. And as we would see Gran Torino crash into a wall, Gran Torino would say, well, you are quite good. All Might was right. You are worthy of that power. But yet, I heard you denied it. And Midoriya would say, I denied it because I wanted to prove my own strength with my own quirk. And Gran Torino would smile and say, well, it's time to train, boy. And the rest of that day, Gran Torino would teach uh, Midoriya, no, yeah, Gran Torino would teach Midoriya how Gran Torino fights, how he bounces off the wall like he does in canon. So as they would be training, it would go, they'd be training all night, while Midoriya would be training all night. Gran Torino went to sleep. Midoriya would keep on training and training, but yet he hears a knock coming from the door, right? And he stops trying to bounce off the walls. He goes to the front door and looks through the people, and sees a a deflated All Might, and Midoriya would open up the door and say, "Oh, hey, All Might," and All Might would be like shocked, and All Might would say, why are you up so late, Midoriya?" Midoriya would say, "Oh, because I'm training. Um, the old man over here," and he would point over to a sleeping Gran Torino on the couch, and All Might would look and get like a sweat drop, and All Might would walk in and wake. Well, he would say, "Gran Torino, wake up," and Gran Torino would wake up very easily, and Gran Torino would say, "Oh, hey, All Might." No, he would say his real name. "Oh, hey, Toshinori, what are you doing?" All Might would say, "Oh, I stopped by. I just heard you actually accepted my terms about Midoriya over here." And Gran Torino would say, "Oh yeah, this boy is quite strong. Right after I texted you to ask him to pick me, and he learned my style very quickly, and I mean quickly." And All Might would turn around and see Midoriya bouncing off the wall like Gran Torino, right? And uh, All Might would smile, and he would say, "Well, good. He needs something. He just can't run into head first all the time. Unlike me, I did that way too often." And Grantino would start laughing, and Grantino would say, "That you did a lot. Me and your master would uh bother you about it all the time." And All Might would say, "Yeah, you two did do that. Oh, by the way, how is she? How's Miss? Oh, doing great. Sleep currently. She was too scared to meet Midoriya. Too she was too nervous to meet him." And in this story, Nana Shimura, if you don't know, it's All Might's master. The sixth user of All for One. No, One for All. I get those two mixed up all the time. The sixth user. She didn't die. She just got really injured. Like how All Might has that big wound. Um, Nana Shimura lost a leg, so she had to retire. Um, they somehow, uh, well, you would think, after One for All left the user, they would die or something. Nana Shimura didn't die. Um, the other, well, she's not dead, but yet she isn't alive. She only wakes up once to twice a month because she's in a state where uh she lives on basically a feeding tube, and 8. She's all it's medical stuff. She's barely alive. So she only wakes up once to twice a month. So yeah, I wanted to explain that. And oh crap, forgot to turn on. Yep. And as we it would slowly be well when oh my god there it was like 5 in the morning, right? So there it's starting to be sunrise. And Gran Torino would say, "Hey kid, you better go get some rest. We're going in on patrol around we're going on patrol today. So you better rest up." And when they would turn over to look at Midoriya, he would be sacked out on the floor. He fell unconscious. He's asleep. Um, while they were talking, he would be bouncing off the wall, and then thud. He was bouncing off of one wall trying to go through the other. He was sliding. He slid a little bit after going and hitting the wall. So he's like he's he's laying against the wall, like he's on his knees and he's just laying there across the wall with a like a dent in the wall, where his head hit the wall. Right. And uh they would well All Might and Gran Torino would be laughing because how he's positioned. So they just left him there. I mean All Might went over and laid him down so that he wouldn't be so uncomfortable. Uh he wouldn't have like a hurt neck. If you ever like slept on your neck weird or on your shoulder weird, that's what they're trying to prevent, right? And as well, they would keep on talking until uh until Midoriya would wake up and would say, "Oh, how long have I been out?" And those two would say, "Well, since 6." And they would check the time and it would say 3 o'clock. So he's been asleep for 7 hours ish, I believe, right? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, 7 hours. And Midori would say, like usual, I only get 7. And yeah, he would say, yeah, yeah, like usual. And All Might and Grantuna would like get like confused at that statement when he said like usual, and All Might would say, "Do you only sleep for 7 hours?" And Midori would say, "Yeah, um, I go to sleep around uh 8. I go to sleep around 8:30, and then wake up around 5:30. Yeah, it seems reasonable, unless it's a like a weekend. On Saturdays, I go to sleep at 10 and wake up at 5, and then train until 12, and then eat, and then train more, and then either take a break or hang out with friends, which I barely have. I mean, since I've been in school, I hang out with them sometimes. Um, and then on Sundays, I sleep. Well, I go to sleep at 12. I trained all day, Um, on well, yeah, on Saturdays, I go to sleep at 12. I wake up at uh 7, and then train for 3 hours, and then eat, and then hang out with friends for the rest of the day, or maybe train. Depends what kind of mood I am in. And Gran Torino and All Might would stare at each other and would say, well, will mumble under the breath and would say, "You act so much like her." And who there are, they are pointing to, well, they're talking about Shimura, Nana Shimura, right? And they would all hear a knock on the door, and you would hear a familiar older person's voice, and it would be, um, Nurse Girl? No, Recovery Girl, not Nurse Girl. And Recovery Girl would say, "Oh, never expected you to be here, Toshinori. Oh, you." And who she's staring at the moment is Midoriya. Given it's not as bad as in canon, where he gets hurt every time he fights, but yet he gets hurt anyways. And uh, All Might would say, "What are you doing here, Recovery Girl?" And Girl would say, "Oh, I'm here to check on uh Nana, Nana Shimura." I mean, I don't know what they called her. I know they didn't call her Master or something. So I'm guessing they probably called her Nana because Gran Torino. I believe. I don't know if this is true. I haven't read this far. Well, I don't know if this is true. Okay, Gran Torino. Correct me if I'm wrong and down in the comments, please. I beg you. Um, and uh, didn't Gran Torino train Nana Shimura? I don't know if that's true or not. I'm guessing. And as well, Nana Shimura would go in there. Not Nana. Um, Recovery Girl would go into the room with Nana Shimura, and yeah, she does her checkup on her, and she would look at the monitor where the heartbeat is and see that there was no heartbeat for a while. Like, I don't know if this is how it works. But I'm guessing you can like scroll back. I don't know if that is true. I'm guessing um that you can scroll back through it and see like the heartbeat monitor. And she would scroll back a little bit and see that there was no heartbeat for like hours, but then it like randomly kicked back up. And she would, so Nana Shimura died for hours and then came back to life. And then while Recovery Girl is doing her checkup on Nana Shimura, uh Nana would actually wake up and would pull her like the breathing mask, and would look around and try to stand up. Well, she could stand up, but yet she would have to lean on something. And she thought, oh, um, well, she starts using her core float, and she would start floating, and Recover Girl would start seeing uh Nana Shimura start floating towards the door and open up the door and not say anything. And we'll go back to the three boys in the training room, and they would all be talking about the patrol and where they're going to. And then All Might would see someone going up the well, they would hear the door open and they would look over and they would all like their jaws would drop to the floor, like in a funny way, you know what I mean? And 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 All Might would say like, uh, Master? And Nana Shimura would look over at uh All Might and would say, "Oh, hey kid, how you doing?" Oh man, I've been feeling weird lately. Uh, hey, did you do with the all for one? And All Might would say, "Well, yeah, I'll tell you later. How are you awake and using that?" And Recovery Girl would go through the door and say, "Uh, I I don't know what happened. Something I don't know. I don't know if it's one for all or something else." And Nana Shimura would say, "Who's the kid? All Might, did you have a kid?" You had a kid, didn't you? Good job, my boy. Who is she? I never got to meet her after I was in a coma, apparently. Oh, I woke up like last month, but yet I don't. You all keep on telling me these things that I was in a coma or something. And All Might would say, "That's not my kid. He's well, his name. Well, kid Midoriya, young Midoriya. Uh, introduce yourself." And then Shimura would say, "Oh wait, you're the Maj, I don't recognize you. Who are you?" And Midoriya would introduce himself. He would say, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm a student at UA. Um, yeah." And Nana Shimura would say, huh, so you're the, wait, I recognize that name. Oh, my told me you about you. You're the, you're the kid that, denied one for all. My question is, why did you do that? And Midoriya would say, oh, because I wanted to prove myself that I could use my own quirk. And Nana Shimura would say, can you explain that to me? Your quirk to me. Can you explain that to me, please? And Midoriya would explain his quirk, how it's called gates, 8 gates. And yeah. Uh, as Midoriya would be explaining this, All Might would stand up, walk over to Nana Shimura, and like be poking her to make sure she's real and not a or no. He would say All Might would say something to Gran Torino along the lines of, "So you're also seeing her, right? Floating?" And Nana Shimura would say, "Would you two stop staring at me? It's weird." And Nana Shimura would float over to him and sit down, and and she would say, hey kid, um, what did you say your name was? Your last name was?" She's talking to Izuku Midoriya, and Midoriya would say, Midoriya, I. Oh, I met a guy named Midoriya. No, I'm starting to forget his name. Nah, and doesn't matter. No way. He's your father. No way. And Gran Torino would stand up and check the time, and he would say, "Hey kid, go get your suit on. It's time to go patrol. We gotta head to Hosu." And Midoriya would say, "Okay," and he would go get changed in his hero costume, which is, if you ever watch Boruto, it's the Boruto uh Jonin vest, right? And then green pants, and then black like ninja sandals. Okay. And you could also see which this is added, newly added in his suit. Orange, like leg warmers, which Element would say, and for his more up upper body, he has like a green, like a dark green undershirt, which is cut off like short sleeved shirt, and then the rest of his arm is like a medical taped up like Rock Lee's, right? And yeah, his hair also. If you have ever watched a Black Clover and or read the manga for Black Clover, you would know a guy named Klaus, right? Metal magic user. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Klaus. That's how his hair is. Okay. And yeah, so they would both get in a car and start driving. Well, they would all say goodbye to the three others, Nana, All Might, and Recovery Girl. They would all say goodbye. Well, those two would say goodbye and head off to Hosu. And by the time they get there, uh, it would be dark. They would both be walking around, or they would roll up in their car and see heroes fighting. Sorry, right? They would all uh those two would like do a drift. Uh, Midori would jump out the car, activate his quirk. He would say, "Gate of opening," or I hope you can't hear those sirens, but you probably can by my luck. He would say, "First gate open." What the? Well, that was weird. I hope you didn't hear those sirens. Um, but yet, like Midori would jump out of the car, activate first gate, uh, and would start fighting with the heroes against those bunch of Nomu. And Green Trina would join in. Midori would end up going up to the fourth gate, right? They would be fighting and fighting and fighting. They would not stop fighting. Well, while he was like Midoriya went to the outskirts of the Nomus and like fought those. and he would be checking his phone while he was like standing on a Nomu and kicking another Nomu, like Nomu's head off, like fully off, and it flies and hits another Nomu, which that Nomu's head flies off and hits another Nomu, and that's just a train reaction of how much power Midoriya is using. And the Nomu he is standing on would get their head kicked off and would start another chain reaction of hitting Nomus and hitting their heads off. Right? And so he would drop down and check his phone and see he got a text from Todoroki, and it was coordinates, and he could tell uh, that they were close. And Gran Torino would be right there beside him, and Midoriya would say, "Hey, Gran Torino, I'm gonna go check something." And Gran Torino would say, "What are you checking on?" Um, I'm gonna check these coordinates I got from a friend. They're just right around the corner. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. And Gran Turner would say, "Be back quickly." And Midori would rush off to the coordinates and would slide up and see and would look through a alleyway. He would see Todoroki fighting while trying to keep uh Stain, the hero killer Stain, away from him and Ida. And Midoriya would rush in there. He would bounce off a wall, and Stain would notice the thing that hit the wall. And before he could turn around and look, he would get kicked in the face and would go against the other wall. And Midoriya would land down and would say, "Well, what mess did you get yourself into now, Ida?" And Ida would still be saying, "Just you two leave. This is my problem." And Todoroki would say, "Would you shut up? I came here to save you from dying." And then I knew I would need help from Midoriya. Okay, I knew he was in the area, apparently. He texted me, and long story. And Midoriya would say, "Todoroki, get those two out of here. I'll hold whoever this guy is off." See, I don't watch news, so I don't know who the crap this guy is. And Todoroki would say, "That's the hero killer, Stain." And Midoriya would look at Todoroki and say, "Oh, and he would point at Ida and would say, "Oh, the guy that paralyzed your brother, right?" And uh, and Ida would look. He would have an angry face at Midoriya. Like he would be. Well, excuse my language. I should put that in my disclaimers. Huh? And well, Ida would be pissed. Okay. And while they were bickering, having an argument, um, Stan would stand there like confused, like, and he would say, aren't you all supposed to be fighting me, and not each other?" And Midori would like say, "Hold on a second, I'll deal with you in a minute. Todoroki, go get these two out of here and come back. Tell a hero or something. I don't care." So, how strong are you? I know you're like hero killer or something. And right after he finishes, like after he would say that, he would have a knife thrown at him, which he would dodge effortlessly. Effortlessly. I can't speak. Which he's also in his fourth gate. So his, which if you haven't watched the first part, um, where I explained his quirk or you don't remember. Um, his quirks works like a leveling system. It works like the eight gates. See, when he goes up in gates, he would be engulfed in a color aura until he would get to red. So his first gate is green, and then and then his second gate would be like a greenish yellow, and then it would go in, and then three is uh the the third gate. It would be like a yellow or like a more yellow than green color, and then it would be fully yellow at the fourth gate, and then the fifth gate would be like a yellowish orange type deal, type color, and then eight, yeah, at six it's more orange than yellow, and then at seven it's like an or the six is orange, the seven is an orangish red, and then the eighth gate would be a full on red, which if you haven't watched Naruto, it's the 50-50 chance of, or Naruto Shippuden really, where Guy goes into the eighth gate against Madara and blah blah blah, and he has a 50% chance of dying and living. He lives. There you go. Quick rundown, okay? And then Midoriya would try to rush uh Stain, but Stain would dodge, and Midoriya would punch the wall, the a wall in the alleyway, right? And then Stain would try to cut Midoriya. Midoriya would catch the blade and rip it out of Stain's hands, throw it on the ground, and would try to make Stain fight hand to hand. And Stain would be in trouble at the moment, but yet he still has one more knife, so he gets it out of his like holster for a knife holster, and would start beginning to uh try to cut Midoriya like that, right? And would be punching Midoriya. They'd start fighting again, and then Midoriya would get cut across like the chest area, but it wouldn't cause any blood because his skin hardens with the gates going up. Okay. His skin hardens, his reflexes uh go up more so he can dodge better, and strength would go up, speed, clearly. But the only thing that really changes this from the normal eight gates of Naruto is the skin, his skin is hardening, and the reflexes, that's the word, reflexes, oh, his reflexes would get way better. Okay, right? And yeah, and as we would keep on going through, they would be training punches and the knife, and Midoriya would go to his fifth gate, right? And then Stain's knife breaks trying to stab Midoriya. And as this would happen, uh, Todoroki would be back with Endeavor. They would see these two fighting. Endeavor would, well, he would rush in and see that Midoriya is about to punch Stain in the gut up in the air because Midoriya could sense that those two are back. And Todoroki would said, like, they already got there. And Todoroki would say, "We're back," like calmly. And and Midoriya would punch Stain in the air and would jump up, grab him, And if you know, I don't remember what Rock Lee called this. He called it like the like spinning leaf something. But I remember what Sasuke called this move, and it was Lion's Barrage. I remember Sasuke's name. I can't remember Rock Lee's name for this move. It's where he basically slams the opponent's head into the ground. Right? He did it who well Sasuke did it to who did he did it to? I forget. I forget who he did it to. Who did he do it? It's I don't remember. But Rock Lee did it against Agara. He would tie him up in the bandages, right? His medical tape, and would slam the Agara's head into the ground. Right? Staying while midair, he would uh like before Midoriya would grab him, he would kick Midoriya in the head and send him backwards. And but Midoriya was fast enough where he could bounce off the opposing wall and catch Stain and do the power driver like move, which he would probably call it like what do you think Midoriya's like? I think I'll just call it Lion's Barrage because I think it would be cool with it, and Midoriya would yell out. I don't know if I gave it a name during the sports festival when he did it first. I don't remember. But if I did, I'm changing it, okay? It's I'm changing it to Lions Barrage. And Midoriya would yell out, Lions Barrage! And boom, Stain would land head first into the ground and would fall to the ground like stunned, like he's stunned. He didn't break anything, right? But yet he hit the ground hard. So he would be like stunned, going into unconsciousness, or uh, like going out or in of unconsciousness. And when Midoriya would get to the ground, Endeavor would put handcuffs on Stain and lead him out to a car. But yet, while well, they would all walk out. Midoriya would walk out also. But he hears like something fly in the air. He turns around. He sees that, well, he never noticed this at first, but yet a piece of Stain's blade, like the piece that broke off, would be stuck in his leg, and he pulls it out and would throw it at the flying Nomu, right? And but yet it would stick into his wing. And uh Stain would like bring up his knee to his face and would grab something out of his pocket and would well it would be a knife out of his pocket and would throw it and the uh killing the Nomu. And they would and Midori would look over at Stain and hear Stain say, "You are the only other hero I see fit." And after that, he would be put in the car, the cop car or whatever, and would be driven off to jail. And the Nomus would be took out by this point, and and Endeavor would say, "Well, I guess you two were using your quirks out of the without permission. You all no, that's not. Well, he took the fame for catching the hero killer so that those two wouldn't get in trouble. So he does the same thing. And yeah, the internships would be caught off, and yeah. So they all would get back to UA the following day, and well, they would. I'm pretty sure they did get a break, but I don't remember. Um, they would hear about Ida, but he's the same. He's okay, but his hand is injured. I think that's what happened. I don't remember what exactly came out of that. But yet, uh, it would be like a time skip and to the next week, and they would be getting the news of the exam, final exam where the exam, I think you all know what I mean. The exam where they are fighting the teachers. So yeah, um, they would all learn about the training and they would all, well, they would all think it's gonna be a robot, uh, match again, fighting against robots. So they do the written portion of the exam, right? And they would, they would all do the test and the written portion of the exam, right? And they would go go they would get on their hero costumes uh and they would all be shocked seeing all their teachers there. Uh, they would be shocked seeing all their teachers there, right? And and yeah, they would be fighting their teachers, and they would they would all get picked out for teams. And the final team, Midoriya and Bakugo, which are going against All Might, which is like canon. Yeah, I know. Um, uh, while that's well, the the others would go as usual, and yeah, the fights that the fights would go on as usual from the canon until we get to the last fight, and it would be Bakugo and Midoriya versus. Well, they don't know who the teacher they're fighting, so they get down there and they would hear, "Aha! You are fighting me!" And they would look up and see All Might flying with a like a fence post or like a piece of railing and All Might would throw it at him, right, and try to capture him. But Midoriya would be in his first gate and would move out of the way. Bakugo would also move out of the way. And now, see, those two didn't come up with a plan because Midoriya and Bakugo do not like each other, right? And they would have constant arguments, and they would fight. Uh, they would fight All Might by themselves mostly until they realized we have to work together. Like, and Midoriya got up to his third gate, right? He would be quite a beast at the moment, and they would be fighting. Midoriya and All Might are actually trading punches, but like more on the sense of Midoriya's punching All Might actually punching him, and All Might is sort of punching him. I mean, like he nicks him, like he hits him sometimes in the shoulder, and Midori would go flying, and Bakugo would try to blow him up, but yet Bakugo would get hit in the stomach, and he would go flying towards like the exit, right? And Midori would think there are two ways of winning this: exiting and plain out beating your opponent. I I think the smartest idea is to run. So, and then he says, fifth gate open. And he would bolt uh, around All Might's punches, and All Might would notice what he is trying to do. So he would run with Midoriya, try to hit him, but yet Midoriya is such smaller in size. But Midoriya would just get hit with like the shockwave, like the wind off of All Might's punches, but yet he just gets off track and would be like he would trip a little bit, and he would be right beside Bakugo, and he would pick up Bakugo by his like shirt and would start, or his boot, and he would start booking it with dragging while dragging Bakugo, and Bakugo would be screaming like, "Let me go now!" And Midoriya would say, "You sure about that?" And Bakugo would turn, like, lift up his head and turn around and would see All Might about to punch both of them, like about to hit the ground, and it sends shockwaves. And Midoriya would go up to his sixth gate, gate of closing, and he would be booking it even more. He would be faster than the shockwaves, right? And so, All Might would pick up like a like a box, like a wooden barrel, right? And he would chuck it at him, right? And he would like use like 50% of his power, right, to throw it at him. And Midoriya would throw Bakugo through the thing, like through the entranceway, and Bakugo would land there, and Midoriya would get hit with the barrel and go flying, or he would like hit to the ground. Would be He would be sliding on the ground, and he would pass the well, he would get past the finish line, and he would go to stand up, but yet he falls right back down, and his face would be bloody, the back of his head would be busted open, his whole entire like costume would be gone, his chest would be bloody, and he would like say, "Uh, did I make it? Did I do I pass?" And like, and Bakugo would look at him like, "Can you see?" And like Midoriya would have his eyes closed because blood is in his eyes, and would say, "Not really. Can you lead me somewhere?" And All Might would get up there and say, "I am so sorry, young Midoriya." And uh, Midoriya would stand up and say, "Oh, it's fine." And he would start walking off in a random direction, and like and, like everyone would look like have a sweatshop, like, "Am I going?" And Midori would be yelling like, "Am I going the right way?" And he would end up on a building, like on top of the building. "Am I going the right way?" Like he would end up random places. At some point, he would be he would be like right outside the observing booth by like with the other students and teachers and would say and would like tap on the glass. He would one eye would be open at this point, and it's like, can you all open this? And like Baku and All Might would end up on the like the other side of the glass and would say, "Wait, can you all open?" And they would all hear like the smashing, like the like Midori hitting against the glass. Everyone would have a like a sweat drop, and like Midori would just still be saying, "Can you all open this? I know you can see me because I can see you." And he would be like tapping on the glass, like, and somehow Nezu would have a button like and would say, "Okay." He would he would press the button, and the thing that Midori was holding on would disappear, and the thing under his feet would disappear, or like go into the wall, and the glass was open, and you know how in like Tom and Jerry or in like a cartoon like Looney Tunes, they'll be running from something and they'll like end out end up like on like going off a cliff and like be floating like would stop and look down and Midori would say, "I think I'm about to fall," and he would start falling. Like he would try to be running into glass, like trying to get in there, and he would just be standing like running in place in midair. Like everyone's confused how he's doing it. And Aizawa, or yeah, I guess Aizawa, or Kirishima would grab Midori's hand, pull him in, and would say, "That was so manly." Like he would say that, and Midori would say, "Thanks, I guess. Thanks for actually being the one to pull me in and not laughing at me." And he would look over at almost everyone like in his class, and like a lot of like a few teachers would be saying would be like trying to hold in their laughter. Like Aizawa wasn't trying to hold in his laughter. He was full on laughing, right? He was full on laughing, right? And yeah, I wonder how long you've been going. Oh, I don't know. I've been going for a while though, at least an hour or two. Um, yeah, and they would be well, they would all hold on, and I'll do it after. But yeah, they would all, well, let's do a time skip. They would still go to class and have class. And after, well, we do time skip to next week. And Aizawa would walk in, or they would already been told about training, the forest training place, right? So they would all get on a bus and start driving there. And they would stop somewhere. Yeah, I'll keep on going. I won't do the whole thing, but I'll keep on going. And they would all stop at like a spot to take a picture or something. I don't know what you call those. They would all stop. Well, 1B would also be there too. That Class 1A would stop, right? And they would all see Class 1B's bus go past them, and Midori would think, I need to get I need to get back on that bus. And or no, I got and like they would all ask, why did they stop? And they would see a car and a couple people would walk out and it's and they would introduce themselves as the Wild Wild Pussycats. And Midori would think, let me grab my bag. Actually, no, that would end up there anyways. Um, I feel like his regular clothes, the clothes he's wearing right now, is the ninja sandals, which is that's all he wears, and like a pair of like black. like cargo pants, right? And then a a uh a white t-shirt and a like a no, just a white t-shirt, okay? Yeah, I'm making this guy drippy. And he would think like, hold on, I think I know what you're doing. You're gonna drop us off of here. You're gonna drop us off of here. He would be pointing at everyone. He would be pointing at everyone, and I saw would say, "It's not nice to point at people." Or hold on, let me re-say it. It's not nice to point at people, Midoriya. And Midoriya would say, "Yeah, I know, but yet, hold on, I'll jump myself. You don't have to bother. Whichever one has the quirk that would make us drop. I'll do it myself." So, and he would back up to like the bus, and he would start running, and like he would start running, and he would like no, yeah, no, yeah. He starts running towards like the jump off area, and like people are looking at him like he's crazy. So he would run back to the bus, right, and would run, and then jump, and like he would cannonball. He would yell, or he would yell out, "Cannonball!" Woo! And you would hear everyone would hear a big thud, like, and you would hear, "Oh, I should have used my cord. Oh God! Oh my God!" Ugh. And Todoroki would hear this and would say, "I'll jump myself too." And he would jump off and use his ice to slide down, like he would use it as a slide, and then he would get down there to Midori and check on him, like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And Midoriya would say, "Not really. Oh, I should have just slid down." And Aizawa would yell out down there, and he would say, "Hey, you both move like a couple feet up there." And Todoroki would pick up Midoriya and bring him up like a couple feet, and Aizawa would walk back and would give isn't it Pixie Bob that has the quirk? I think so. And she would say, and Aizawa would give those and give her a thumbs up to drop it. And all the students would be trying to run back to the bus, but yet they would all drop in and would all drop down there. And Aizawa would yell, "You got an hour," or no, "You got until 12. If you don't be there by 12, no food, no pre-cooked food for you. You'll have to cook yourself." And Midori would be standing up by now and would be laughing at everyone else. Like, "You all fell for it. You all should have just jumped with me. Even though it hurt like crap, it was worth it." And oh, okay, let's go. He would start stretching. He would say, "One, two, three, three gates open," and he would be engulfed in a yellowish green aura, right? And he would grab Todoroki and Kirishima and would throw him on top of his shoulders and would say, "Hey, Todoroki, make a path for those two to follow, for them all to follow." Well, no, he wouldn't bring anyone. He would bolt in there, and he would he would start beating the like he would kick these monsters, these like mud color like brown like these big monsters. He would be kicking them and punching, headbutting some even. And he would, when he's doing this, he's uh like he kicked one once and shattered it like to pieces. And so everyone behind him would be like barely fighting, right? So they're jogging behind him. And then one somehow has like it's on fire. It could breathe fire somehow. And it would breathe fire on Midoriya. And his shirt is completely gone. And he would look down and he would say, "Oh, that was my favorite shirt. It said awesome shirt on it. You bought whole? Good thing I got an extra. You're lucky." And he would kick the thing's head and it would shatter. And once people like got up to him and see him like burnt and like half like shirtless, it's not all gone. It's like some of it is still there. And like you know how Todoroki, like his uh sports uniform was like burnt, like yeah, that's how it looks. Okay. But yet like more like ragged because some monsters hit Midoriya and Midoriya would turn like look back at him and he would say, "Come on, you all gotta hurry up." And he would bolt off, right? He would bolt off and 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 Midoriya would keep on going through and uh be destroying all these monsters, and they would get there a minute before 12, before their actual time being there. They all would get there. Okay. And Midoriya is the only one that looks tired and hurt. And Aizawa would say, "Did you run in head first like usual?" And Midoriya would give him like a big thumbs up and a big smile, like, and he would say, "Yeah, it was very fun. Besides the fire breathing one, it got rid of my shirt." And Aizawa would look down and would say, "Get a shirt on, man." "Well, you see, you didn't let me take my bag." "That is true, so you don't have an extra." "Ah, you get it later. Go eat." And Midoriya would like, he would be walking up towards there, or like, if I remember correctly, they had their school uniforms, right? Yeah, they had their school uniforms. So Midoriya's like school uniform would be like half burnt. He would be torn up. His tie would still be there, like fine. And yeah, that they had their school uniforms on, if I remember correctly. And then they would all walk up to the building, and they would see a tiny child, and Midoriya would walk up to him like and say, "Hey kid, what's your issue? Why you look so angry?" And after he would say angry, and Co and Midoriya would keep on asking, "Hey, what's your name? Hey, what's your name? Hey, why you look angry? You got a problem?" And the tiny child would say, uh, "You don't deserve to know my name." And he would punch Midoriya in the no-no square, and Midoriya would say, and well, he would say, "Holy crap! Oh, oh, that's a kid. No, that's not no kid. That's a demon. That's a demon. Oh, go kick that kid in the balls." Next, and Todoroki would run up and would catch him before he falls on the ground, and he would say, "Do you want me to massage him?" And massage him. And Midoriya would look up at Todoroki and would say, "No!" Oh, and Midoriya would stand up a little bit And oh, everything hurts. Oh, I hate being a dude. Oh, God. Oh. And he would go on like that, and everyone would check or pat his shoulder. Isaiah would be there and would say, "You better go eat, kid." And Medora would look up at him. How about you get punched in the balls? And then have somebody say, "Hey, how about you go eat, kid?" And Isaiah would be getting mad. And so he would pick up Midoriya, like by his shoulder and pick him up like fully, and he would knee Midoriya in the nuts again. And Midoriya would like, uh, and like Midoriya would go like he would fall down holding his nuts, holding his square, no square. Ain't that a song by like the I don't remember. Um, and yeah, and Todoroki would, or no, Kirishima would pick up Midoriya and like, start walking him over to the table of where the food is before it was all gone. And he would set him down. Midoriya would be there, still holding his no square, like, why is everyone, and he would say, why is everyone so mean? Why? And Kirishima would say, well, you back talked our teacher. Um, that's why you got the one. I don't know. That kid has a problem. And Midori would say, you think? You think, Kirishima? You think he has a problem? Oh, I just want to go to sleep. No, well, that food actually looks good. Yeah, I'm happy. And so, yeah, they would all eat, and the people that didn't pass the exam would be in there and would be uh studying, right? And it would be, well, and they would all sleep or they would train, whatever. And yeah, this is where I'm gonna end it. Okay. Um, yeah. Well, that has been part 4 of What If Midoriya Had the Eight Gates. And before we end this off, well, I say goodbye to you all. Um, write down in the comments, um, your favorite My Hero Academia villain. And I'm waiting for one of y'all to do these things. And write down this phrase, okay? Write down this in the comments so that I know you all actually watched all of this video, right? And write down belts, like your belts, right? Your belt if you wear a belt. Belts? No, don't write down that. Okay. Write down uh write down Piper picked a pepper a Piper picked peppers. No. No, write down uh what uh write down your favorite Naruto villain and uh your favorite My Hero villain. Okay. And then write down this phrase. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but muscles won't. Okay, write down that so that I know, write down all those things so that I know that you all have watched this to the end. And yeah, I'll see you all on Monday with another installment of What If Deku was Nanami's reincarnation. And yeah, see you on Monday.